there's a bigger bully in Asia, and that's China. And when a bully meets a bigger bully, what does a smaller bully do? Simply gonna behave properly. He's gonna appease. He's gonna try to appease his master. That's how small bully behaves. Okay, they're going to appease the bigger bully.
Unless we are prepared to go to war, I would suggest that you better.
It doesn't mean that we need to go to war, Mr. President. It simply means follow Hong Kong and Taiwan lead. Fight them within the bounds of reality. Okay, if you cannot beat them in a war, there are other channels and ways for you to raise your protestation, to oppose them diplomatically. And you can raise your issue with an international tribunal that's willing to take the case against China, like what President Noynoy Aquino did. And like I said, never been a fan or supporter of Noynoy Aquino. In fact, I was a critic. I was more angry with Noynoy Aquino than with President Duterte. And also establish alliance with other global powers like Australia, United States, and Europe. Instead, that's not what the president is doing. He's so afraid to anger China by establishing alliance with China's traditional enemies.
Endeavor. China is claiming it. We are claiming it. China has the arms. We do not have it. So,
China has the arms, and do you know, or did you know what Taiwan did? Taiwan purchased a lot of weapons, billions of dollars of weapons, in order to protect itself, and because of that, Taiwan angered China.
it's simple as that. They are in possession of the property. You remember property, you're a lawyer, property rights. It has nothing to do with the Philippines.
What? In possession of the property? What the hell is this man talking about? That's the reason why he used the term South China Sea. He doesn't want to use West Philippine Sea. What property is this
Laws of property.
Coward talking about?
It's akin to, they are in possession.
Because they were in possession of the property because you allowed them to. You allowed them to. You focus on stupid drug wars. You focus on demonizing your enemies instead of protecting our territorial interests. That's the reason why it's your fault.
What can we do? We have to go to war.
No.
And I cannot afford it. Maybe some other president can, but I cannot. Inutil ako dyan, sabihin ko siya.
You're right.
Ano yun?
That I agree.
Talagang inutil ako dyan. Walang magawa. I cannot.
But I really feel for him for that. I can see that he's sincere enough, except that he's misguided. That's the only problem.
The moment I send my Marines there at the coastal shores of Palawan, tinamaan ng cruise missile lahat. Hindi pa nga sit-say yan.
How can your rhetoric with China or against China place the Philippines in a far better position when all of your minions, like for example, your military guys, Mr. Roque, were giving China a lot of excuses. They're justifying China's creeping invasion by saying, no, they did not intend to invade our territory. And when it comes to the issue of Benham rice, when China said we also own it, and Rocky came to China's rescue and defense, no, China did not mean that. Actually, China owns it. We're sorry, we apologize, etc. So being apologetic when it comes to China is not gonna help us diplomatically. It's simply gonna embolden China, because why so afraid of China? You mentioned about diplomatic strategies against China, and we've done that so far under Noynoy Aquino. So I'm a critic of Noynoy Aquino, to be honest, but he did the right thing by filing a case with the International Tribunal, and they acted in it. But instead of continuing with that fight, President Duterte stopped it, right? And because of that, China tried to reward their good boy for behaving properly, like a Chinese puppet. All right, so how can you protect the interests of this country by appeasing China? We've seen how, Taiwan and Hong Kong fight for their independence. They don't appease China, okay? Hong Kong and Taiwan know that China has all the weapons, all right? They have all the weapons. They have all these military bases. They have all this clout and power, but they don't run around appeasing China and Beijing, right? Unlike what Mr. Duterte is doing or has been doing over the past years. Instead, what Taiwan did is that it purchased weapons from America, and that really angered China. And not only that, the woman leader in Taiwan tried to establish better relationships with the USA under President Trump, and that again angered President Xi of China and his comrades in Beijing. And in Hong Kong, the Hong Kong people, despite the fact that they don't have military, that they don't have independence, they fight for their freedom. They protested and they were waving American flags. All right. They were asking President Trump to help them, all right, against the dictatorship of China in Beijing. So they don't go around appeasing people. Yes, you are right, Mr. Duterte, that we don't have any weapon at all. We're not gonna win in any war anytime with China, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna appease China. You're gonna go around cowardly appeasing and trying to excuse China's invasion of our territories. All right, that's what you're trying to do. That's what you're trying to do. Instead of fighting China diplomatically, instead of establishing relationship with some other global powers in order to neutralize China's influence in Asia, like what Malaysia is or has been doing. Even Mahathir Mohamad from Malaysia warned the Philippines not to accept Chinese loans, but instead of Duterte thanking Mahathir Mohamad's warning, Duterte happily received all these Chinese loans that are going to compromise our independence and sovereignty. And you talk about sovereignty like it's like, a piece of shit, like you are.